have always believed that the hardest part of life is never fighting through thorns or bearing heavy burdens, but retaining original heart and tenderness after seeing worldly coldness and human wickedness, protecting loved ones and upholding universal righteousness. I am Hua Ji, living 2 lifetimes with totally different fates. My first life was vanity and ups and downs. My second is rebirth against the wind. In my modern life, I presided over a corporate group, shrewd and decisive, well-versed in human scheming and interest games. Yet I was ultimately betrayed by my own blood. That fatal fall shattered all my lifelong achievements, leaving me exhausted and cold-hearted before I reincarnated. I woke up as the 15-year-old eldest daughter of the prestigious Hua clan, a century-old scholarly and noble family in the Daqing dynasty. Reborn in this peaceful era, I craved nothing but stability. Tired of calculation and strife from my past life, I only wished to live a quiet, humble life. The Hua family was honorable and upright, with virtuous elders and innocent younger siblings. I concealed my sharpness and wisdom, restraining myself to be an ordinary gentle lady. I desired no court glory or fame, only peace, freedom from disputes, and a calm ending to make up for all my past hardships. I thought my life would be quiet and uneventful, confined to boudoir peace and ordinary days. But fate never favors those who seek mere comfort. A catastrophic disaster overturned my tranquil life and reshaped my temperament and soul entirely. The downfall of the Hua family came suddenly and ruthlessly. My grandfather, upright and outspoken, offended the emperor with sincere remonstrance. Overnight, the noble and prosperous clan collapsed completely. Imperial decrees stripped official positions, confiscated property, and exiled all male family members. The once glorious mansion fell into desolation. Those who once lived in luxury were reduced to helpless relatives of a convicted official, displaced and vulnerable. With all family pillars exiled, only the elderly, women and children remained, helpless and bullied by the world. That moment, I abandoned all restraint and ease and stepped forward without hesitation. Faced with family collapse and mortal danger, every burden fell on my shoulders as the eldest legitimate daughter. While others panicked, wept, despaired, or complained, I understood clearly that panic solved nothing. In despair, only self-redemption could bring survival. My past life's experience in business, human observation, and strategic layout became my only strength in extremity. I knew total collapse meant death from cold and hunger for my helpless family. Therefore, at 15, I bore the crumbling Hua family on my frail shoulders, a young lady shouldering the fate of an entire clan. After the catastrophe, crises surged endlessly. Court investigations continued relentlessly. Collateral relatives coveted our remaining assets, and once allied noble families cut off contact completely. Extreme human greed and worldly fickleness revealed themselves without disguise. Others seized opportunities to plunder, frame, and push our family deeper into ruin. Yet I never resented the world or surrendered to despair. The Hua family had always been upright, loyal, and virtuous for generations. My elders served the country sincerely and lived honorably. Such a pure clan deserved no unjust ruin or disgrace. As the eldest daughter, it was my duty to protect the family's bloodline, preserve its integrity, and clear its unjust name. Surviving in despair was infinitely difficult, yet I endured and persisted with gentle but unyielding strength. Anticipating disaster in advance, I secretly hid gold and silver treasures to reserve survival capital for the desperate family, laying the foundation for future revival. To avoid dragging down my fiancé's family and preserve the last dignity of the Hua clan, I took the initiative to dissolve my engagement decisively, without entanglement or complaint. The world mocked my choice as foolish self-abandonment, yet I knew better. In extremity, timely compromise and rational sacrifice were the only way to survive. I refused to become a burden or a bargaining chip for others. After stabilizing the family foundation, I advanced step by step with careful planning, leading the vulnerable family to survive and revive against all odds. Abandoning noble lady vanity and pride, I devoted myself to practical livelihoods. Relying on imperial rewards of farmland and manors, I applied my modern business wisdom, craftsmanship, and management experience to develop canning industries, refine frostbite ointments, revitalize farmland, and build commercial trade routes. I utilized geographical knowledge for trade planning, strategic principles for warehouse management, and medical knowledge for public welfare. With wisdom I broke deadlocks and accumulated wealth steadily, supporting my family and aiding exiled clansmen, preparing thoroughly for family revival. My journey of supporting the family was never smooth. Dangers and traps lurked everywhere. Noble suppression, official investigation, livelihood hardship, malicious schemes, and slanderous rumors. I was defamed and accused of overreaching feminine bounds. I was framed and trapped in countless crises. Yet I never retreated or yielded. Tempered by my past life, I possessed calm judgment and profound vision, remaining unperturbed by danger or noise. I ignored rumors, dismantled plots, and endured hardships silently. I protected my young siblings and elders, restored order, and rebuilt the family from nothing. In unseen solitude, I bore all grievances, exhaustion, and storms, reviving the nearly ruined Hua family from the brink of extinction. Amid worldly turbulence and desperate struggles, I met Gu Yanxi. He was a hidden loyal minister, a young man bearing blood feuds and enduring long-term concealment, profound, restrained, and brilliantly resourceful. At first encounter, we tested and guarded against each other, equal in wit and temperament. At that time, my entire mind focused on family survival, leaving no room for romance or frivolous affection. Yet Gu Yanxi's presence melted the coldness accumulated through 2 lifetimes, granting me the purest tenderness and firmest companionship amid a fickle world. He understood all my perseverance and restraint. The world saw my decisiveness, capability, and sharpness in reviving my family. Only he perceived the softness and vulnerability beneath my armor, my hidden exhaustion, lonely courage, and silent suffering. He never used empty sweet words or hypocritical flattery. All his preference and protection manifested in practical actions. In danger, he shielded me secretly. In deadlock, he guided my strategies. Amid rumors, he trusted my integrity and defended my reputation. In solitude, he stood firmly beside me, granting me endless strength. Our affection grew from desperate encounter, deepened through spiritual compatibility, and settled in mutual devotion. Without grand confessions or ostentatious romance, our love embodied the restraint and sincerity of mature souls tempered by worldly experience. It was the most stable and lasting affection in mortal life. I witnessed his hidden suffering and righteous aspirations. He witnessed my resilience and pure original heart in adversity. Both burdened with fate and worldly scars, we chose tenderness and sincerity for each other, redeeming, fulfilling, and supporting one another through every storm. Our relationship was never dependent or one-sided, but evenly matched and mutually advancing. I never humbled myself for survival or relied blindly on his protection. I remained sober, independent, and principled, reviving my family solely through my own efforts. He respected my integrity and ability utterly, never regarding me as a weak dependent, but sincerely admiring my clarity, perseverance, and vision. Bearing our respective missions and adhering to our original hearts, we supported rather than restrained each other, achieving common growth and standing side by side through all worldly ups and downs. Through this journey, I achieved thorough transformation and growth amid adversity. Once I only craved personal tranquility and family stability. After experiencing family ruin and worldly tempering, my pattern and state of mind elevated completely. I no longer limited myself to small family peace, but comprehended the true meaning of family and country righteousness, spiritual inheritance, and social responsibility. What I protected was never merely the Hua family's survival and foundation, but its century-old upright spirit, pure integrity, and precious perseverance in a turbulent world. I transformed from a sheltered young lady into an independent, calm, broad-patterned powerhouse. Abandoning youthful naivety and comfort obsession, I learned to choose and yield, restrain and plan, endure and undertake. I no longer feared worldly storms, human wickedness, or uncertain futures. I finally understood that true stability never comes from a windless life, but from inner strength and certainty to save oneself and stand firm in any circumstance. True confidence originates not from noble birth or others' protection, but from retaining original heart, enduring hardships, shouldering responsibilities, and preserving kindness after seeing all worldly realities. Through political turmoil, imperial succession, and power struggles, I witnessed the cruelty of imperial authority and the complexity of human hearts. After the late emperor's passing, the new emperor ascended the throne, bringing drastic political changes and undercurrent conflicts. I was favored by the throne, awarded honorable titles, and appointed imperial tutor to assist the young emperor, enlightening his mind and rectifying the court. The world regarded high official status as supreme glory and life perfection. Yet I clearly knew that the court's heights were filled with shackles and disputes, and power was nothing but restraint and burden. Therefore, I calmly abandoned court power and glory, voluntarily resigning from my tutor position without lingering over fame or authority. I refused to be trapped in political strife or lose my original aspiration amid power struggles. I chose a greater path, teaching behind closed doors in the library, copying and compiling classics, sorting out cultural veins, and passing down lifelong knowledge and insights to future generations. Compared with fleeting court power and mortal fame, the inheritance of civilization and spiritual integrity far outlasts any dynasty or regime. I finally understood that loyalty to country never equals court service, but lies in guarding cultural roots, upholding universal justice, and benefiting future generations silently. Looking back on my 2 lifetimes, my first life was consumed by fame, profit, and calculation, ending in betrayal and desolation. My second life advanced against the wind, preserving heart and kindness, achieving lasting spiritual perfection. In my past life I was shrewd, persistent, and overly concerned with gain and loss, trapped by desire and kinship, living tired and cold. In this life I am transparent, tolerant, and sincere, growing through adversity, remaining unyielding amid hardship, unindifferent amid fickleness, and unresentful under heavy burdens. I thrive in storms, gain clarity amid ups and downs, and achieve perfection through perseverance. I have witnessed the ultimate evil of the world: kin betrayal, human greed, worldly coldness, and opportunistic betrayal. I have also witnessed ultimate goodness: upright family tradition, united clansmen, loyal companionship, and noble assistance. I understand the world is always a mixture of good and evil, prosperity and decline. No life is permanently smooth, nor permanently difficult. The best life state is never avoiding storms, but remaining positive after hardships, sincere after worldly insight, tender after bearing burdens, and kind after seeing wickedness. For my family, I devoted all my strength to reverse ruin in extremity, protecting bloodline and inheritance, living up to ancestral integrity and clan expectations. For my country, I abandoned utilitarian obsession and court disputes, committing myself to cultural inheritance and education, pursuing no fame or power, only guarding justice and spreading civilization. For love, I remained sober and independent, neither humble nor arrogant, meeting a kindred spirit for mutual redemption and fulfillment, cherishing affection without bondage, accompanying calmly side by side. For myself, I broke cocoon and rebirthed, abandoning naivety and forging sharpness, preserving original heart, enduring storms, embracing worldly complexity, and stabilizing my own life. The world often preaches that women ought to be gentle, obedient, secluded, and dependent. Yet my life has always moved against stereotypes and broken worldly frames. Women are never attachments or weaknesses, nor confined to secular definitions of gentleness. We can also be resolute, broad-minded, responsible, and dedicated to serving the world. Gentleness is not cowardice, restraint is not stupidity, transparency is not inertia, and perseverance is not stubbornness. As a woman, I protected my clan, inherited civilization, benefited the world, and cherished my lover, becoming the best version of myself. Free from secular definition, identity shackles, and fatalistic coercion, I cherish flowers, and further cherish all worldly sincerity, tenderness, integrity, and righteousness. Flowers bloom and fade. Life rises and falls. Years hold storms. Life bears ups and downs. Yet the most precious things in the world are never erased by time or destroyed by hardships. Upright integrity, pure original heart, courageous perseverance, prolonged kindness, mutual devotion, and eternal cultural heritage. These are the most worthy treasures to uphold. After 2 lifetimes of ups and downs and half a life of storms, I finally comprehend the true meaning of life. Perfection never means smooth sailing without disaster, but retaining original aspiration through hardships and remaining sincere after worldly insight. True strength is not arrogant sharpness, but restraint and calmness. Self-rescue in adversity, self-discipline in prosperity, modesty in high places, and resilience in low times. True love is never dependence or one-sided redemption, but equal standing, mutual advancement, and lifelong companionship. True patriotism never lies in court prominence and power, but in endless cultural inheritance, lasting integrity, unswerving original heart, and silent dedication to the world. For the rest of my life, I shall no longer be trapped by disputes, shackles, or calculations. I possess the ability to stand firm, achieve goals, preserve my heart, and cherish companionship. I shall guard cultural heritage, protect worldly tranquility, accompany my beloved till old age, and live peacefully through passing years.